Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to another video discussion video. Despite the fact that we are in this pandemic that we've been for a long period of time, and might be even more so, judging by the way it sounds, unfortunately, despite all of that happening, we're getting a lot more game news than I thought we were going to get. Technically E3 had been canceled along many other gaming conventions that had been canceled. In fact, I'm pretty sure Tokyo Game Show has also been canceled as well, but they're going to do like a video streaming segment later on within the year. Despite the fact that all of that's happening, we're actually getting more gaming news than what originally we were going to get probably. And I'm sure some of you didn't think that we were going to get nearly as many. But yet, it feels like, even though it's kind of scattered out, this year has been somewhat docile. Like, it hasn't been like a complete disaster. I'm sure it has been for a lot of you, and I do apologize for anything that might have happened to you. I know none of it should have ever happened. None of it needed to happen, and no one deserves it, in all honesty. But despite that, for every downside, you gotta try to look up at the good stuff. You gotta try to find something that'll keep you happy, to keep you joyful. And obviously for me, it's obviously video games. And, well, there's a lot of video game topics to talk about, so let's get started. So the first particular game that got announced that got my interest was a game called Dragon Quest Adventures of Dia. Now, at first, I didn't know anything about it other than the fact that this was going to be a new Dragon Quest game and more action-oriented. In fact, judging by the look of it, and I hate to put this image in my mind, because it can be bad. It's sort of like that of like trying to put Dark Souls into everything. For me, it's like putting Kingdom Hearts into everything, but it kind of looks like Kingdom Hearts. It kind of looks it almost whenever you look at the gameplay. And it's one of those weird things where it's like, I don't know why, but yet it's like, it looks interesting. It looks really interesting. I'm very intrigued by it, but it turns out technically is based on a manga series. I didn't know that. I didn't know. So it's going to be interesting regardless. It has an art style kind of like that of Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. But then again, Dragon Quest has always had the art style of Dragon Ball. So really when you think about it, it's no surprise why it would feel similar to that in terms of graphical detailing. But I look at this and I'm like, this looks like it'd be good. Something tells me this is going to be an interesting Dragon Quest game whenever it comes out. I have not played many of them. I need to. I am trying to build up in terms of Dragon Quest, but this looks interesting to me. Another game that got announced, and this was a shock for everybody really, which was interesting because of when it got announced, and that is of course Pokemon Snap 2. This was a shock for me. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. At the time, and I thought they should have done it for the Wii U. That would have been the perfect timing, considering the game mechanic of the gamepad. They had the opportunity, they had all the groundworks, they just never done it, And for them to finally do it in the Nintendo Switch era is very shocking. But at the same time, I'm glad they finally did it. And you know what? This looks good. I have yet to have played Pokemon Sword or Shield at this current moment in time. I do want to, considering that the DLC, the first patch for the DLC is officially out now. And this one looks good. This one looks really good. I'm kind of surprised how people have reacted to this one, because I watched Arlo talk about it in his channel, and for some reason he was saying of how it looks almost like it was as if it was still in development. And I'm like, compared to Pokemon Sword and Shield, you think this is unfinished? Like, it looks better quality than what Pokemon Sword and Shield looks. And keep in mind, they're trying to keep it stylized, obviously. And so in my personal opinion, the way I see it, it looks like it's about finished, obviously. And they're going to probably release it by the end of the year. I don't think they are. I'm sure it's 2021. I wouldn't doubt it. But as far as I know, they didn't really give out a specific release date for it as of yet. So who's to say if they've released information on it. But I love Pokemon Snap. So to see Pokemon Snap 2 now being made and stuff like that, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. And I know it's going to be weird considering the majority of games that I tend to get into, but it's like, Pokemon Snap is different. It's different in the sense of like, you know, if you're a fan of Pokemon, this is not a bad game to get into. This is not a bad game to kind of jump into, to feel immersed into the realm of Pokemon, and just kind of being like, I guess you can call it like a jungle cruise, but with Pokemon. If that sounds weird on its own, I apologize, but that's the only thing I can say, because it can be enjoyed. And I think with today's development now, I think it's going to look a lot better than what Pokemon Snap did. And keep in mind, that got released on the N64, so compared to how it looks now, there's going to be a big difference, but I'm looking forward to it. Surprise, surprise! We have a Kingdom Hearts update. So technically, there's been a Kingdom Hearts update for a while now. It's technically a partial update add-on to the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross mobile game, but it's called Dark Road, which is basically involving the backstory between Xehanort and Ericus, how Xehanort became who he is in Kingdom Hearts 3, so on and so forth. And, you know, some people kind of give their opinions about it. They said that it's not that good, unfortunately, which I kind of figured it wouldn't, considering it came out for Unchained Key, which is not a good thing, but, you know, whatever. But that's not what we're talking about, no. Even though that's gotten a lot of updates, that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is actually involving the main series of Kingdom Hearts. Yes, the main story segment. We're finally going to see what's going to happen after Kingdom Hearts 3. The weird thing is that it's a rhythm game. Okay? Now that's the weird thing. It's a rhythm game, but it's a different kind of rhythm game. And I'm going to show you a quick little bit of what the trailer kind of shows. It kind of shows Sora, Donald, and Goofy in PlayStation 2, or I guess you can call it original Kingdom Hearts 2 models, going through each world and doing like a soundtrack. And according to what they said, there's going to be a total of 140 different tracks that you can play through and stuff. And it's like, you know, if it's Kingdom Hearts themed music, I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I think a lot of people are going to be like, you know what, this isn't bad. You know, this isn't Atlantica. This isn't like stupid random button mashing timing rhythm game. It's just a nice little stroll listening to Kingdom Hearts music and stuff. And really, this kind of gives you the idea of like, maybe they were testing the waters on this, considering the fact that, you know, obviously we had the Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Hearts Orchestra tour that happened and everything. So I say because of that response, they figured, well, why don't we make that and turn it into its own game? And they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds interesting. But apparently, Nomura decided, no. Not only will this be a mechanic that they will do, but we'll also add in a main story element that will progress within Kingdom Hearts. That's when everyone basically facepalmed themselves and they're like, what the flip, Nomura? But I ain't gonna lie. I actually will do this. I will play through that rhythm game. More or less will probably like it. I'll have my mixed different opinions about it, but I will still like it. But I only want to know what's going to happen next because of what they showed us. They showed us two big key factors, and that is Apprentice Xehanort version. You know, obviously the events that happened in Radiant Garden when he was an apprentice. And Kairi. We see Kairi at Radiant Garden, and Xehanort is trying to grab Kairi. So obviously there's a big story complication that's happening during that moment in time. Which is interesting because that's kind of like one of those unresolved questions that no one asked. It's like, how did Kairi get to Destiny Islands when she was in Radiant Garden? You know, because technically she's a princess at Radiant Garden. One of the 7 princesses of Pure Hearts. So to see her in Destiny Islands when in reality she was in Radiant Garden kind of throws you off, doesn't it, a little bit? It kind of throws you off. But it's going to be interesting to see that story confrontation. But also, too, we see Kairi and Riku in the realm in which where Sora was seen twice and everything. And not only that, but they see a hooded figure. Now, we don't know for sure who this hooded figure is. A lot of people predict that this could be the Master of Masters. Could be Lucius / Sigbar. it could be anybody really at this point. I'm willing to admit it could be anyone. And someone mentioned, wouldn't it be weird if they revealed themselves to be Sora? I wouldn't doubt that. At this point, Nomura has a way of twisting and turning the story to kind of throw us off. At this point, it could be anybody. It could be Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny be like, haha, you thought this was only a Disney game, huh? I'm gonna kick your freaking ass. I would not doubt in my mind that Nomura is going to throw in some weird wrench into the story with this segment. And it's like, we have no idea what this is going to be. We just know something's going to happen in this game. And it's going to throw us all off. But I'm looking forward to it. Really cool thing is that it's going to be available for all 3 consoles. PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Which is really cool. So we have a Kingdom Hearts game now on the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, I'll get it for the PS4, but it's cool to have it that it's going to be available for all 3. In fact, I think that, you know, potentially we might even get an announcement later on saying that, hey, not only will Kingdom Hearts Memory of Melodies be available for the Switch, but also, too, we are working our way to getting all of the other Kingdom Hearts games available for the Switch as well. I'm hoping that's the case. I doubt it, but if they are going to do that, that's going to be really fun. It's going to be great to have these Kingdom Hearts games on the Nintendo Switch because of its portability power and stuff. It's just, to me, personally, that's a good system to have it. And if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan and you have a Nintendo Switch, I know for a fact that that is something that you guys want as well, because I do. And the last thing that's on my list of games that I want to talk about that's been announced and everything like that. Now, while technically this doesn't have a release date still, we have updates involving Biomutant, and I want to talk a little bit about Biomutant. You know, I've stated in a video talking about it and everything like that, and if you followed me and you hear me talk about Biomutant, you know I have high expectations for this. And, you know, on the one hand, that might not be a good thing to have high expectations, but for me personally, I just can't wait to play the game. The game looks fun and entertaining, really. To me, I keep saying it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, and really, it does, you know, with the different weapons and the different mechanics that you can do with the game. This looks like it's going to be a fun game. But a lot of people, whenever asking about this, they say it kind of reminds you of, like, Breath of the Wild, which makes sense. It's an open-world game, you know, it's very environmental and stuff. You're basically riding an animal, you're basically riding machines and stuff to place and everything like that. It's a big open-world map. A lot of people say it's kind of like that of Ratchet and Clank because of the shooting and everything, and I can definitely understand why they're getting Ratchet and Clank because of the shooting. But another one was that people thought it kind of reminded them of like Jak and Daxter, and I guess it kind of does, you know, it kind of would be. But in all honesty, I just love how different it is. I love how, you know, you have this post-apocalyptic area involving these random furry creatures, all of them being different. You know, some of them are humongous, some of them are tiny little creatures, some of them are just differently mutated, thus biomutant. Then you have the fact that you have the custom creation, and based on the stat trait that you're going for your main character, depends on the form he's going to take. And the creature can look different all the time, and that's something that I really love. I love the fact that when you go in the game, your first playthrough is going to look different from your second, your third, your fourth. It's going to have multiple different outcomes depending on how you're going to go about building your character and stuff. Not only that, but the different weapons that you can interact with. It just, again, it continues on building more and more. And really, at first I didn't think the game could look any more better. Nope, this latest trailer proved me wrong. It looks fantastic. It looks amazing. I love how much more colorful it looks. I love how much more brighter it feels. It makes you feel like it's more alive, really. And while the gameplay might have changed slightly, subtly, in my personal opinion, it still looks better than what I originally thought it was going to look. And really, they have done well. They have done tremendously well. They have worked hard on it. And you know, despite the fact that we haven't gotten much news and update about this one, you can tell that they are extremely dedicated to this game. They want to make it the best that they can make it to be. They want it to be the best that they want to deliver out. They want to give it their all. And to be honest, I understand that. I do understand that for developers. So it's like, if you want to do it, take your time, take as much time as you want to, at the end of the day, you're going to deliver a good product to us, and we're all going to enjoy it. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't look at. You know, we're used to seeing games being pushed out there as fast as they can be, and then all of a sudden we're complaining that this is all we get. But the reality is that we want the game to be good, but we also want to have a reason for why we're going to go back through and replay it, you know? Is it because the story's good? Is it the gameplay that's really good? You know, all this stuff needs to make the game perfect, and they're trying to make it the best way possible. Now, of course, according to what has been stated, they haven't got an official announcement. In fact, their latest trailer said, we'll release it when we feel like it's ready. And I like how they put that, because that's basically them being honest, saying, we want this game to be the best that it can be, and we're wanting to give you the best that we are willing to be able to put out there. And I understand that perfectly, but the guy said that they are in the final stages of development, meaning that once that gets done, and depending on how long it takes, they'll be basically into production. They'll literally be putting the game out there on disc and everything like that, and it'll be shipped out to everybody. Now, do I have a prediction of when it might come out? It depends, because keep in mind, this coronavirus will definitely slow down some businesses and stuff. It will. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it in my mind. But I feel like if we were to take bets, I would say this would get released literally towards like the beginning of 2021. I would not doubt it. A lot of people assume that this might come out literally towards like the end of its sales figures year, which is that of April. I can definitely see that being possible. I do. But if for some reason they all of a sudden up and just release a future trailer stating that, hey, we're going to release it in 2020, you know, literally before the holidays. And it's like, if they did that, I would literally be in a coma. I'd be so excited, I'd be literally in a coma. And then all of a sudden, I would wake up on the day that it gets released and I'd be like, I gotta play Biomutant! You know, it's just, I wouldn't doubt it. And to the team, I'm so glad that you're still making this game. A lot of people doubt that it would still be in development, but to me, I was still following you all the way through. I've been following you for the past 2.5, almost 3 years now. It's hard to believe how long it's been. But I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to whenever it finally does get released. And I hope you do well. I hope you're keeping in good health, you know, despite all of this that's happening. But still, take your time. I'm looking forward to this game. And I know there's a lot of people who are still looking forward to it as well. So thank you so much. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for listening to me talking about these particular game news and stuff like that. Again, these were a bunch of games that were being talked about and everything like that. And a lot of them are new, but then with Biomutant, I was very excited to see that coming out and stuff. So in all honesty, this year has been so far a pretty good year, despite the fact that there's no E3. And of course, there will be some more gaming news coming out. I know Square Enix said that they're going to be announcing some new titles that are going to be coming out within July and August. So definitely look out for a future video talking about those as well. So hope to see you guys later, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys.